Hello, hello, hello. Come right on in. You're welcome. You're welcome. Come right on in. Those of you that are new around here, hey, we want you to hit that subscribe button so that you can get the notices when we do our reports here at Current Events Now. Welcome today for another segment of Current Events Now. And on today's Current Events Now, we are dealing with a very serious issue today. Uh, South Africa shocks the world when it suspends all businesses within the borders of South Africa. South Africa suspended all American business within their borders because of the U.S. aid and the actions that the American president has taken against South Africa. I just want you to listen to what is being reported in that country now and what the people's over there, how they're perceiving what they're talking about on this issue.
World and our community. Now, the tension between South Africa and the United States has been ratcheted up following a remark from South Africa's Minister of Minerals, which is Gwede Mantashe, suggesting that the country could halt its supply for minerals to the United States in retaliation for President Donald Trump's threat to actually cut off funding over the controversial land expropriation law. Now, for better context, right, President Trump has called the Expropriation Act, which allows the government to seize land without compensation in certain cases, a human rights violation. Now, he claims that the law is essentially confiscating land and treats certain classes of people very badly, and as a result, he has threatened to withdraw the United States financial support to South Africa until a further investigation is completed.
As you just heard, just to reiterate what she just said, the president suspended all U.S. aid that is normally sent over to help the African continent, and because he believes that Africa has taken the white people's land, which is totally not true. It's a distribution of land that's given back to African landowners who rightfully own the land. It's just a lot of issues there. The Africans that are there were come and settled that land and took the land, so the land does not belong to them. And so right now they're trying to figure out how to best distribute land that is left to give it back to the rightful owners. And so with that in mind, the South African president, which I want you to hear now, he talks about and he expresses how he feels about the situation. Take a listen.
What Donald Trump has to do with South African land, because he's never been here. And he must keep his America, we will keep our South Africa. And what he must do. South Africa is our land. South Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. He must leave us alone. Stay out of our issues.
I guess he was letting it be known how he feels. That's the president of South Africa speaking on the issue at hand. And the South Africans themselves are really just really don't understand why President Trump has taken the stance that it has, when really we should be nurturing our relationship with the continent of Africa. I don't know if the president understands Africa is a continent made up of about 20 to 40 countries. It's just in our best interest to keep our hand over there, as we've been friends with the South African continent for many, many, many years. We've given billions of dollars. Why would you try and upset that relationship? Especially now that a lot of the South African nations are now in the BRICS organization. What they're doing with the BRICS, a lot of the African nations with Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and soon Jamaica is coming aboard. They are now, they want to get away from utilizing the dollar as a standard money that is used around the world. They're introducing this money that's called, it's called BRICS. It's a whole nother way of funding money where you won't even have to actually have a dollar in your hand. It's more like with the crypto. And so this is what these countries that I just named, and the list is growing. It's growing tremendously because a lot of the countries want to get from under the dollar. They don't want to utilize the dollar as a trade as a trading currency any longer. And so many of these countries are coming aboard with this, and that's another thing that the American we're going to have to realize is that we're not going to be that dominant power. If the more countries come on to this, the less influential we will be, and not to mention some of the debt for some of these countries like China, who carries a lot of our debt. Yeah, if they dump those bonds back on us, we would be in a world of trouble. So it just behooves me that our president would take the stance that he has with this continent of Africa. To me, it's a new thriving economy where China is over there, making a big footprint over there and helping build the roads, bridges, and structures of that, and just becoming a good friend to the African continent. Right along with India. India is doing the same thing. They've got a big foot, as well as Russia. Russia's even over there with with the continent, with these countries over on that continent. And so I am just really shocked that we would throw away our good relations with these countries and make them out to be enemies. That's going to hurt us in the long run, especially when it comes to trade. You want to gain more peoples so that you can sell your goods. Now, this girl here, she kind of sums it up really the way that a lot of them are thinking. Take a listen.
Seems like South Africa is following in the footsteps of Burkina Faso and Niger and Senegal. They have ordered the American ambassador to South Africa to leave with immediate effect. That's right. South Africa's balls are growing. And you know what? South Africa has now more powerful friends. And we never thought that would live to see the time that an African country would take on America. The thing is, what is U.S. aid? What is U.S. aid to South Africa? Mainly nefarious stuff. Yes, they may give a few, tablets for HIV clinics and stuff like that. But you know what? With all the minerals and diamonds and all of that South Africa produces, they will very easily afford all of that stuff. Do the land distribution. Stand your ground, South Africa, because you know what? Times are changing.
Times are changing. They certainly are. Africa is rich in diamonds and minerals, and we do a lot of trading with those minerals. Those minerals we use in computers, tablets, in our cars. I mean, good God, if we didn't have the trade, if they withheld their minerals from us, we'd be in a world of trouble. And we all love diamonds. I mean, I love a good diamond just as much as anyone else. I got a good sapphire on now from Africa. There it is. And so, but it just I am just bewildered as to why we would why our administration or why our president would not want to keep good relations with those countries over there, as we've been friends with them for as long as I can remember. So we need to rethink what we're doing here. It's not good to be creating a lot of enemies, unnecessary enemies, and I feel like that's what we're doing. Is where our administration kind of taking the country is we're just bombastic with everyone, and we as Americans need to take a look and say, is this really how we want to portray ourselves in this country and the world? As some bullies, because that's what we're starting to look like. Until the next time, I ask that you hit that like button, subscribe to us, and once again, we'll be coming back on current events with more important news that you can use, information that will make you much smarter than when you first came in. Until the next time, take care of yourselves.